Good morning. Today is Monday, April 22nd, and this daily bread is titled, Relying on God's Strength. It's from Jeremiah chapter 46, verse 1 to 26. The key verse is verse 10, and it says, But that day belongs to the Lord Almighty, a day of vengeance, for vengeance on his foes. The sword will devour till it is satisfied, till it has quenched its thirst with blood. For the Lord Almighty, will offer sacrifice in the land of the north by the River Euphrates. This is the word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah the prophet concerning the nations, concerning Egypt. This is the message against the army of Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, which was defeated at Carchemish on the Euphrates River by Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, son of Josiah, king of Judah. Prepare your shields, both large and small, and march out for battle. Harness the horses, mount the steeds. Take your positions with helmets on. Polish your spears. Put on your armor. What do I see? They are terrified. They are retreating. Their warriors are defeated. They flee in haste without looking back. And there is terror on every side, declares the Lord. The swift cannot flee, nor the strong escape. In the north by the river Euphrates, they stumble and fall. Who is this that rises like the Nile, like rivers of surging waters? Egypt rises like the Nile, like rivers of surging waters. She says, I will rise and cover the earth. I will destroy cities and their people. Charge, you horses. Drive furiously, you charioteers. March on, you warriors, men of Cush and Put, who carry shields, men of Lydia, who draw the bow. But that day belongs to the Lord Almighty, a day of vengeance, for vengeance on his foes. The sword will devour till it is satisfied, till it has quenched its thirst with blood. For the Lord Almighty, will offer sacrifice in the land of the north by the river Euphrates. Go up to Gilead and get balm, virgin daughter Egypt. But you try many medicines in vain. There is no healing for you. The nations will hear of your shame. Your cries will fill the earth. One warrior will stumble over another. Both will fall down together. This is the message the Lord spoke to Jeremiah the prophet about the coming of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, to attack Egypt. Announce this in Egypt, and proclaim it in Migdol. Proclaim it also in Memphis and Tahpanhes. Take your positions and get ready, for the sword devours those around you. Why will your warriors be laid low? They cannot stand, for the Lord will push them down. They will stumble repeatedly. They will fall over each other. They will say, Get up, let us go back to our own people and our native lands, away from the sword of the oppressor. There they will exclaim, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, is only a loud noise. He has missed his opportunity. As surely as I live, declares the king, whose name is the Lord Almighty, one will come who is like Tabor among the mountains, like Carmel by the sea. Pack your belongings for exile, you who live in Egypt. For Memphis will be laid waste and lie in ruins without inhabitant. Egypt is a beautiful heifer, but a gadfly is coming against her from the north. The mercenaries in her ranks are like fattened calves. They too will turn and flee together. They will not stand their ground, for the day of disaster is coming upon them, the time for them to be punished. Egypt will hiss like a fleeing serpent as the enemy advances in force. They will come against her with axes, like men who cut down trees. They will chop down her forests, declares the Lord. Dense though it be, there are more numerous than locusts. They cannot be counted. Daughter Egypt will be put to shame, given into the hands of the people of the north. The Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says, I am about to bring punishment on Ammon, god of Thebes, on Pharaoh, on Egypt, and her gods and her kings, and on those who rely on Pharaoh. I will give them into the hands of those who want to kill them. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and his officers. Later, however, Egypt will be inhabited as in times past, declares the Lord. Do not be afraid, Jacob my servant. Do not be dismayed, Israel. I will surely save you out of a distant place, your descendants from the land of their exile. Jacob will again have peace and security, and no one will make him afraid. Do not be afraid, Jacob my servant, for I am with you, declares the Lord. Though I completely destroy all the nations among which I scatter you, I will not completely destroy you. I will discipline you, but only in due measure. I will not let you go entirely unpunished. Daily bread. First, depend on God's strength. Verse 5a says, "What do I see? They are terrified. They are retreating. Their warriors are defeated." The Egyptian army was powerful, but failed because it relied on its own strength. When we trust in ourselves, our knowledge or abilities, we become defeated. Depending only on ourselves to manage schoolwork, job responsibilities, family matters, or other commitments leads to burnout and failure. And nothing will humble us more than experiencing defeat when we fail. As Corrie Ten Boom once said, "If you look at the world, you'll be distressed. If you look within, you'll be depressed. But if you look at God, you'll be at rest." Are you relying on your strength or God's? Let's stop holding tightly to our own abilities and surrender to God. When we seek God's help and rely on His strength, He will empower us every step of the way. Second, God is in control. God brought judgment upon Egypt, demonstrating His control over the nation's fate. When life feels chaotic and uncertain, we often want to take control. We play tug of war with God, offering Him our worries and then trying to handle them on our own. But if we really want clarity, peace, and a renewed hope, then we need to surrender to God's authority in our lives. Proverbs 3 verse 5-6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." When we stop trying to control our lives and turn to God, He will guide us clearly in the direction we should go. Whether it's worrying about our future, like what job to pursue after college, or if we're making the right choices, we should trust that God is in charge. Who better to run to in times of need than the one who loves us and promises to take care of us? Let's run to Him, who eagerly waits for us with open arms. Prayer. Lord, I ask for your strength, which never runs out. When worry and anxiety overwhelm me, help me remember that you are in control. You've always taken care of me, even when I doubted you, and you won't stop now. I choose to surrender and let you take full control of my life. One word, my God is in control.